Today, we're putting CF Moto's top 4 bikes head-to-head with Yamaha's closest competitors. But here's the twist. These CF Moto models aren't just chasing Yamaha's reputation. They're matching or even beating Yamaha's best without the Yamaha price tag. Whether you're into street bikes, retro styles, or adventure tourers, this lineup promises some surprises. We're breaking down real-world performance, features, and value, not just spec sheets. Are you still convinced Yamaha dominates every category, or is there more to the story? Let's see what happens when CF Moto steps into the ring, starting where most riders begin their journey. First up is the lightweight naked bike segment, where new riders usually start their hunt for something affordable, easy to handle, and just plain fun. Here, Yamaha's MT-03 has long been the default pick. It's known for being compact, reliable, and approachable, just what you want when you're learning the ropes or zipping through city streets. But CF Moto's 300NK isn't just trying to be a budget alternative. It's out to prove you can get sharp looks, modern tech, and solid performance without paying Yamaha prices. So how do these two really stack up once you look past the badges? Let's break down the engines first. The Yamaha MT-03 is powered by a 321 cubic centimeter parallel twin that puts out 37 horsepower at 9,000 revolutions per minute and around 20 pound-feet of torque. That's enough to keep things lively, whether you're threading through traffic or taking the long way home. The CF Moto 300NK uses a 292 cubic centimeter single-cylinder engine with 29 horsepower at 8,250 revolutions per minute and about 18.7 pound-feet of torque. Sure, the numbers are lower, but the 300NK's lighter, 333-pound wet weight helps it keep up in the real world. That weight advantage makes the 300NK feel nimble and easy to throw around, especially at slower speeds where most new riders spend their time. When it comes to design and features, CF Moto really leans in. The 300NK isn't shy about its modern styling. Sharp lines, minimalist frame, and a stance that feels a bit more aggressive than the MT-03. But it's not just about looks. Cycle World points out that the 300NK's full-color TFT display and advanced rider aids are sprinkled on top, giving it a tech edge in the entry-level market. You get a 5-inch display with customizable layouts and dual riding modes, letting you adjust the bike's character with a button press. Yamaha's MT-03, meanwhile, sticks to a simple LCD dash and non-switchable ABS. It covers the basics well, but doesn't offer the same level of tech or customization. Still, Yamaha's not without its strengths. The MT-03's parallel twin engine is smooth and proven, and its braking setup, 298mm front disc with ABS, delivers solid, predictable stopping power. The 300NK answers with a 300mm front disc, so you're not missing out on hardware, but the feel and refinement of Yamaha's system is a notch above, especially if you're focused on safety or plan to ride in all conditions. Warranty coverage is another spot where CF Moto makes a strong case. The 300NK comes standard with a 2-year warranty, which is longer than what Yamaha offers on the MT-03. For new riders who want some extra peace of mind, that can be a big deal. It's a way for CF Moto to address hesitations about reliability and show they're serious about backing their bikes. Speaking of reliability, it's fair to wonder if the lower price and newer brand mean you're sacrificing long-term durability. Yamaha's reputation for bulletproof engines and solid construction is well earned. But recent owner reviews and tests suggest the 300NK is holding up better than some might expect. Riders note that the build quality is solid, with components that feel sturdy and not like the cheap knockoffs people use to associate with Chinese bikes. The suspension, engine, and electronics all seem to handle daily use, and even some spirited riding without drama. So, which one should you pick? If you want a proven platform with a little more power and a reputation for reliability, the MT-03 is still a strong choice. But if you're looking for the best value, a longer warranty, and features you usually only find on pricier bikes, the 300NK is tough to ignore. It's forcing a lot of riders to rethink what's possible at this price point. That's just the start, though. The real test comes as we move up in size and power, where the middleweight naked bikes take center stage and the competition gets even more interesting. Stepping into the middleweight class, let's see how CF Moto's 650NK stacks up against the Yamaha MT-07, a Showdown that's been getting a lot of attention for good reason. The MT-07 has been the standard for approachable power and all-around fun, a bike that's almost always the answer when someone asks what to buy after their first motorcycle. CF Moto, though, is aiming right at this market with the 650 NK, and its price is enough to make even die-hard Yamaha fans pause. On paper, both bikes use parallel twin engines, but the numbers tell an interesting story. The Yamaha MT-07's 689 cubic centimeter twin puts out 74 brake horsepower at 9,000 revolutions per minute and 50 pound-feet of torque at 6,500 revolutions per minute. This engine is well loved for its smooth delivery and punchy mid-range, making it as good for city riding as it is for weekend blasts. The CF Moto 650 NK, with its 649.3 cubic centimeter twin, produces 56 brake horsepower at 9,500 RPM and 62 Newton meters, about 46 pound-feet at 680 degrees Celsius, 7,000 RPM. While it's not as powerful as the Yamaha, it's still got enough grunt for spirited riding and daily commutes. The power comes on in a predictable, linear way that's easy to manage, especially for riders who want something friendly but not boring. The riding experience isn't just about numbers, though. Yamaha's MT-07 is famous for its agile chassis and balanced suspension. It uses a telescopic fork and a rear monoshock, tuned to find that sweet spot between sporty and comfortable. You get confident handling whether you're slicing through traffic or leaning into a favorite back road. The 650 NK uses KYB suspension front and rear, and while it's not adjustable, it does a solid job of keeping things stable and soaking up bumps. Most riders will find it comfortable for daily use, even if it doesn't quite match the Yamaha's finesse when pushed hard. Weight and ergonomics play a big part in how these bikes feel. The 650 NK's wet weight is 193 kilograms, or about 425 pounds, while the MT-07 is lighter at 179 kilograms, or roughly 395 pounds. That 30-pound difference is noticeable, especially when you're moving the bikes around or flicking through tight turns. The MT-07 just feels a little more nimble and eager, which is great for riders who want a playful bike. Both bikes offer upright, neutral ergonomics, but the MT-07 seat height is slightly lower at 31.7 inches compared to the 650 NK's 31.9 inches, making it a touch more accessible for shorter riders. Styling is always subjective, but it's worth mentioning. Yamaha's MT-07 wears the hyper-naked look, with sharp, angular bodywork and a headlight design that's hard to ignore. Some love it, others not so much. The 650 NK, on the other hand, keeps things clean and modern, with a design that feels more European than you might expect from a budget-friendly bike. It's less polarizing and might appeal to riders who want something that stands out without being too loud. Tech features are one area where CF Moto tries to pull ahead. The 650 NK comes with a full-color TFT display, which looks crisp and modern, showing all the info you need in a clean layout. Yamaha keeps things simpler with a basic LCD dash, functional, but not flashy. If you like having a bit of tech and a premium feel, the 650 NK's display is a nice bonus. Price, though, is where the 650 NK really makes its case. The MT-07 starts at $8,199, which is fair for the performance and reputation you get. The CF Moto 650 NK comes in at around $6,799, making it significantly more affordable. Plus, you get a 3-year factory warranty, compared to Yamaha's standard 1-year coverage, which adds a lot of peace of mind, especially if you're new to the brand. MC News summed it up well. The 650 NK offers real-world comfort and value, especially if you spend a lot of time filtering through town traffic. There's always some skepticism about durability with newer brands, but owner feedback on the 650 NK has been positive. Riders mention solid build quality, reliable performance, and fueling that's much improved over older CF Moto models. You're not getting a cheap knockoff. The 650 NK stands on its own as a legitimate option in the class. So, if you want the sharper, more dynamic ride and proven reliability, the MT-07 is hard to beat. But if you're looking for the best value, a longer warranty, and modern tech without stretching your budget, the 650 NK is worth a serious look. That's how things play out in the middleweight naked segment. But what happens when the competition shifts to retro-inspired bikes, where style and substance both matter? Let's see how CF Moto approaches the classic meets modern trend next. Some riders want a bike that looks like it just rolled out of a vintage photo, but rides like something built this year. That's exactly the space where the CF Moto 700 CLX Heritage and Yamaha XSR 700 compete. Yamaha's XSR 700 has been a staple for anyone after retro style with proven middleweight power. The CF Moto 700 CLX Heritage, though, is making a serious case for itself, especially if you're looking at price and features as much as nostalgia. Let's start with what's under the tank. Yamaha's XSR 700 uses a 689 cubic centimeter parallel twin engine, making 73 brake horsepower and about 49.3 pound-feet of torque. That's 67 newton-meters for folks who like metric. This engine is smooth, quick to rev, and gives you plenty of punch whether you're weaving through traffic or heading out for a longer ride. The 700 CLX Heritage counters with a 693 cubic centimeter parallel twin, producing 74 brake horsepower and a flat 50 pound-feet of torque. The numbers are almost identical, and in day-to-day riding, you wouldn't notice much difference in straight-line speed or passing power. Both bikes deliver their torque low in the rev range, making them easy to ride in the city and relaxed at highway speeds. Styling is where opinions start to split. The XSR 700 is all about classic lines, a round headlight, and a shape that echoes Yamaha's history. It's familiar and understated, which is exactly the appeal for a lot of riders. The 700 CLX Heritage, on the other hand, aims for a modern twist on retro. You get a sculpted tank, minimalist tail, and bronze accents that give it a bit of a custom vibe right out of the box. The seat has a leather-textured finish, and the side panels add a touch of flair. It's less about copying the past and more about standing out in today's crowd. But the real difference comes down to features and technology. The XSR 700 keeps things basic. You get analog gauges, standard ABS, and that's about it. There's no TFT display, no riding modes, and no traction control. It's a straightforward, rider-focused setup. What you see is what you get. The 700 CLX Heritage, though, brings a full-color TFT display with Bluetooth connectivity, Bosch traction control, and 2 selectable ride modes. You also get cruise control, which is rare at this price point. These are features that MCN and other reviewers have called out as impressive, especially considering the cost difference. For riders who want a bit more tech and flexibility, the 700 CLX Heritage is clearly ahead. Warranty is another area where CF Moto makes a statement. The 700 CLX Heritage comes with a 4-year factory warranty, compared to the XSR 700's standard 1-year coverage. That's a big deal if you're not sure about trying a newer brand or if you just like the security of longer protection. MCN's review points out that this warranty is one of the most generous in the class, and it's a factor that can tip the scales for a lot of buyers. Ergonomics and comfort are important for this type of bike. Both models put you in an upright position with wide handlebars and a seat that works for city rides or weekend trips. The XSR 700 is a bit lighter at 410 pounds curb weight, while the 700 CLX comes in around 430 pounds. That slight weight difference means the Yamaha feels a touch more nimble in tight spots, but the CF Moto's balance and suspension setup keep it comfortable and easy to manage. Build quality is often a concern with newer brands, but the 700 CLX Heritage has earned positive feedback for its fit and finish. The materials feel solid, the paint is clean, and the controls don't feel cheap. Reviewers and owners say it doesn't cut corners, even though it costs less than its competition. Price is where the gap really shows. The XSR 700 starts at $8,899, while the 700 CLX Heritage comes in at $6,799. That's a difference of over $2,000, and you're getting more technology and a longer warranty for less money. For riders who want value, that's hard to ignore. Both bikes offer a strong mix of style and substance. The XSR 700 leans on Yamaha's history and a tried-and-true engine, while the 700 CLX Heritage brings new tech and a standout warranty at a price that's tough to beat. It all comes down to what matters most: classic simplicity or modern features and value. As the market shifts and more riders look for adventure-ready bikes, the next matchup highlights just how far CF Moto is willing to go to challenge Yamaha in the adventure touring world. Adventure bikes are where manufacturers show just how much capability and value they can pack into a machine built for the long haul. In this face-off, it's the CF Moto 800 MT ADV going up against the Yamaha Tracer 900 GT. Both are designed for riders who want to cover serious ground, tackle changing terrain, and stay comfortable day after day, but they go about it in a few different ways. Let's get right to the engines. Yamaha's Tracer 900 GT is powered by an 888 cubic centimeter inline triple, producing 115 horsepower and 64 pound-feet of torque, according to CycleWorld. This CP3 engine is well known for its lively feel, smooth delivery, and plenty of torque across the rev range. It's a favorite for riders who want quick acceleration and strong passing power, whether they're loaded up for a trip or just out for a weekend blast. On the other side, CF Moto's 800 MT ADV uses a KTM-derived 799 cubic centimeter parallel twin. The Explorer edition of this engine puts out 95 horsepower and 61 newton-meters of torque, which comes out to about 45 pound-feet. It's not as powerful as the Yamaha, but it's still got enough punch for highway speeds, overtaking, and light off-roading. The KTM roots mean it's tuned for real-world adventure riding, so you get usable power where it counts. Fuel range matters when you're venturing far from gas stations. The Tracer 900 GT comes with a 4.8-gallon tank, which is decent for most trips. The 800 MT ADV goes bigger with a 5.3-gallon tank, according to MC News. That extra half-gallon can make a difference on long stretches between stops, and it's something riders who like to wander off the beaten path will appreciate. Suspension travel is another key detail for adventure bikes. The Tracer 900 GT offers 6.0 inches of travel up front and 5.6 inches at the rear. This setup helps soak up bumps and rough pavement, and it's part of why the Tracer feels so planted on twisty roads. The 800 MT ADV isn't far behind, giving you 5.9 inches of travel at both ends. That's almost identical, and it means the CF Moto can handle potholes, gravel, and even some light trails without beating up the rider. Both bikes use quality components. Yamaha uses its own adjustable suspension, while CF Moto fits KYB units front and rear. Weight plays a role in how these bikes handle, especially when loaded with luggage. The Tracer 900 GT weighs in at about 485 pounds wet, while the 800 MT ADV tips the scales at 218 kilograms, or roughly 481 pounds. The numbers are close, so neither bike feels overly heavy or unwieldy for the class. Both offer upright, relaxed ergonomics with wide bars, large windscreens, and seats built for all-day comfort. Heated grips, cruise control, and adjustable windshields come standard on both, putting long-distance comfort within easy reach. When it comes to tech, Yamaha gives you a bright TFT display, multiple ride modes, lean-sensitive traction control, and a quick shifter for clutchless upshifts. The Tracer's semi-active suspension can adjust on the fly, which is a plus for riders who like to fine-tune their setup. CF Moto doesn't lag behind. The 800 MT ADV features a full-color TFT display, integrated navigation, and smartphone connectivity through their ride app. You can get call and message alerts, track your ride stats, and plan routes right on the dash. It's a feature set that feels modern and practical, especially for riders who travel with their phone as a co-pilot. Build quality and price are where things get interesting. The Tracer 900 GT has a premium fit and finish, from its paint to its controls. It starts at $14,999. The CF Moto 800 MT ADV is priced around $11,399, so you're saving over $3,500 right out of the gate. Despite the lower price, the 800 MT ADV feels solid, with well-chosen components like JAJ Juan brakes and sturdy bodywork. It might not have the same polish in every area, but it's a lot closer than most would expect at this price point. Warranty coverage is another area where CF Moto stands out. The 800 MT ADV comes with a 4-year warranty, while Yamaha offers a standard 1-year plan. For riders concerned about reliability or new brands, that longer coverage is a real advantage. In the end, the Tracer 900 GT wins on outright performance and premium features, but the 800 MT ADV makes a strong case with its price, equipment, and warranty. It's not just a budget copy. It's a real contender for riders who want value and capability in one package. So, after looking at how these two stack up, let's take a step back and see what all of this means for CF Moto as a brand. and what it could mean for your next bike. In conclusion, CF Moto isn't just the budget option anymore. It's starting to look like a real alternative for riders who want strong features without overspending. From the tech-packed 300 NK to the well-equipped 800 MT ADV, these models show that you don't have to pay top dollar for performance and comfort. CF Moto's expanding US dealer network and rising owner satisfaction, as noted in MotoDeal's long-term reviews, are helping build trust with more riders every year. Which CF Moto versus Yamaha face-off challenges your brand loyalties or surprised you the most? Was it the retro 700 CLX, the value-packed 650 NK, or something else? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.